Am I the asshole? A guy I went to school with refused to say he knew me and then got upset with me when he wanted something from me. That's already sounding a little sus. Let's get into this. My wife and I had a New Year's resolution to do more hands-on volunteer work this year. So me being an IT guy, I found a group that refurbishes computers for students. I thought it was a slam dunk, sounded like an easy thing to do, and it was aligned with what I do for a living. On my first day in orientation, I ran into a guy that I went to school with around 10 years ago. I spent 3 years in school with this guy and immediately recognized him. The guy is on LinkedIn as well, so I know him. We did projects together. There are pictures of us at graduation. I 100% know this guy. I went over to say hi and he was sort of apprehensive about saying anything to me. I was initially confused because I thought we were on good terms. When I said, "Hey man, it's me from school," he said he knew who I was, but apparently once graduation was done, he decided to move on from school and be done with it. Okay, yeah, that's the whole point of being out of school. You're done with it. I left that shit behind too. Everybody wants to leave school behind, but what he is saying does not make sense. It does not correlate. He told me he wanted to deal with adults and wanted nothing to do with people he went to school with. This was despite the fact that we were now in our 30s and we weren't exactly students anymore. Yeah, this guy is a little crazy because that makes absolutely zero sense for this guy to say that to him. So that kind of hurt, but whatever. I respect his decision and left him alone. There were dozens of other people there, so I went about with orientation and everything. I didn't see the guy again for the rest of the day. Alright, this guy's already tripping, okay? It makes zero sense why he's being so rude. If there is a problem, say it. There seems to be an underlying issue because, again, this makes zero sense. A couple hours later, when we were all done, I had met a few people who were actually sociable and decided to go across the street to a pub. I was in a good mood and I told them the first round was on me because I had a good day. So we're going over to the pub and that guy shows up and sits down at the table. I asked, "What are you doing here? I'm not buying you a drink. You don't know me." Guy called me an asshole and a bunch of other colorful languages and walked away. I explained to the group the situation and they were like, "What the fuck?" First of all, I love the way he handled that. That's exactly how he should have handled that because no one should be over here trying to get in on the free drinks if you don't know this person. What is not clicking? What is not clicking? And you know what? I love that he was like, "Oh, what are you doing? You don't know me." Exactly how someone should handle that situation. Seems like the other guy got really upset and was cussing him out. But again, you said you want nothing to do with him. Why are you over here trying to receive a drink from someone that you don't want anything to do with? I got an email from the event coordinator yesterday. Apparently the guy complained about me and said I'm not a team player. Luckily the coordinator heard my side of the story and was fine with it, so I'm good. But I have to continue dealing with this guy if I continue to go volunteer. So, what the hell? I like the organization and want to continue with it. A few people have mentioned to me I should have just... Oh, hell no. These people are out of pocket. These people are out of pocket right now. So they said, a few people have mentioned to me that I should have just bought the guy a drink, but out of principle, I won't. Hey, this guy has spelling errors, okay? This is why I'm taking some pauses. But a few people have mentioned to me that I should have just bought the guy a drink, but out of principle, I won't buy a drink for someone who disrespects me. Clear, period, poo. Like, no one should be buying anyone anything who's an asshole to them. Am I the asshole for telling this guy to leave the table at the pub? He had an update. Just for clarification, this was a college friend, not a high school friend. Okay, yes, that was established, but you're saying friend. I wonder if this is actually a close friend or an acquaintance, because if it was a close friend, there must be some history there. There must be something there that we don't know about. Update. So I got some more info. I messaged another guy I went to school with who also knows the guy. He told me that they used to hang out a lot until around 4 years ago when out of the blue the guy just stopped talking to him. He sent him a crazy long text message basically saying the same thing he said to me. I moved on and I don't want to associate with old classmates. Either this guy has something embarrassing against him that everyone else knows, or he's just an asshole. It's not hard to just be cordial with people when you see them, unless they are, some of my ex-coworkers. But That's a story for another day. First of all, I don't think you're the asshole. I think you're a straight up G and who handled it perfectly. It was so funny. If I was there, I would have laughed. If I was your coworker, 100% on your side. We going hands. We're having issues, okay? But let's look at the comments and see what they say. The guy's really gonna tell you that he doesn't want anything to do with you and expect him to buy him a drink. LMAO. Like, yes, LMAO. Like, that is not okay. It makes zero sense. You can't tell someone you've moved on from their friendship and then try to move back in when they're buying drinks. Perfectly said. This comment says, the man you used to be friendly with at school flat out told you he wanted to move on and nothing to do with this old classmate from so long ago. Now, by the time you and the other volunteers went to the pub across the road, the old classmate may have reconsidered. Or maybe he thought he could get a free drink, or he wanted to sit down with the other volunteers and you were just there too. Or who knows what this guy was thinking to sit at that table, but you made it clear that you weren't going to buy him a drink and he didn't like that. Sucks for him. The fact that this guy decided to go complain about the guy who didn't buy him a drink over the guy who said he did not even want to be associated with him is like backwards. Like, why? Like, why? Like, you're blowing up this situation that you're not even in the right. Like, people who's gonna hear that story is like, oh, this guy's an asshole. They're not going to be on your side. And then this last comment I'm gonna read to you says, moving on unless there's alcohol involved. Then he slams on the brake. Nah, keep moving, bro. Yep, keep moving. Am I the asshole for refusing to send my daughter to public school or ask my brother-in-law to pay for my stepkids to go to private school? I'm confused. Why is your brother-in-law going to pay Okay, well, let's just read. I, 25-year-old female, have a daughter, 8-year-old female. I had her when I was very young. My oldest daughter, oh God. My oldest daughter, 30, why is the gap, wait, I'm sorry, the gap is just way too big. You'll see it in a step, but the gap is huge. My older daughter, 34-year-old female, and her husband, 39-year-old male, have helped me a lot. Raising my daughter alone and going to school would have been quite impossible without them. My sister is a sham, and my brother-in-law is quite wealthy due to his family business. They pay for my daughter to go to the same private school as their kids, 11-year-old male, 8-year-old female, 6-year-old female. It's very expensive, but my brother-in-law can afford it, and I'm very grateful to him for giving my daughters more opportunities. I recently got married, and my husband, 36-year-old male, has 3 daughters, 12, 9, and 7. They go to our local public school, which is good, but not as good as the private school my daughter goes to. Last night he told me that he thinks it isn't fair for my daughter to go to a $40K a year private school while his daughter has to go to public school. First of all, $40K for elementary? No. We're gonna find something else. We're gonna find an alternative. If you don't want to go to public school, go to a free charter school or something. I don't know. Like, that's ridiculous. Lottery systems. He said that next year I need to either send my daughter to public school or ask my brother-in-law to pay for his daughter to go to private school. Oh, he's tripping. He is tripping. I told him that I'm not doing that because I want my daughter to have all the opportunities I didn't have. I went to a shittier inner city public school, and my brother-in-law can't afford to send 7 kids to private school. He got mad at me and said that our kids are siblings now and everything needs to be equal between them. And my asshole. Whoo! No, you're not the asshole. Why is this guy trying to force you to send your kid to public school because his kids go to public school? I get the dynamic of wanting people to be equal and wanting there to... Girl! Well, that's my kitty. Well, get down now. She loves attention. She's like an attention whore, actually. She's actually really more of a dog because she follows me around 24/7. But babe, you are not the asshole. This guy has a nerve. Maybe he's showing his true colors and maybe you want to like dip. But I get the aspect of wanting things to be equal. But again, you guys have kids from previous marriage. I feel like it's more equal like that if they're all like biological siblings. They're not even half siblings. They're step siblings. Nah. she wants the opportunity for her daughter, she should be able to do that. And for this guy to have the nerve to be like, ask your brother-in-law to pay for them too, his kids, boy, you pay for your kids. You start a business and make that money so you can send your daughters to school. Don't rely on other people. Last one. Am I the asshole for informing a school of family with students have moved out of the district in order to make room for my child? This sounds bad already. Let's get into it. My children and I moved into a new school district last year. Although we lived very close to a great school, we were sent to attend another school in the district because the desired school was at capacity. I was informed right before the school year that my two children were next to be enrolled, and the housing issue has slowed movers down to nearly a halt. We aren't really living in an area with frequent movers anyways. I found out that a family moved out of our district to the inner city schools, but was also informed the students were still attending the school in my district. I don't know the family, but I don't blame them. The inner city schools are terrible, problematic at best. However, our district is not open enrollment and they should no longer be attending the school. You know what? This smells Karen to me, okay? She's a whistleblower. You know, that they used to do this in my town, actually, when they built the new high school. Everyone wanted to go there, so they would lie and say they lived somewhere else, you know, maybe a family member's address, and then they started cracking down. But Karen energy right here. I called the principal and Board of Education to make a report, and I was finally informed last week that my children will be attending our local school, and I had a sigh of relief. They will start next week. This will be a huge burden lifted from our household. The issue comes from the family that needs to pull their children from school. They found out I made the call and informed me while I was doing what's best for my child, I was greedy, harming all four of their, oh my god, 4 of their children had to move schools because of this lady? She's a super Karen. She's not just a regular Karen. How dare she? Apparently, one of their children is autistic and thriving with their school. Turns out 3 of their children attended the school I wanted, but one of them attended a special school for autistic children. They said he was nonverbal to now telling his mom, I love you. I felt terrible when they said that, but I also didn't make them move. They did that on their own. They have been telling people about it, and of course they think I'm heartless. Some have said I'm an asshole, but I wanted to see if I mishandled it. Am I the asshole here? Yes. In my opinion, yes, you are the asshole. You displaced an autistic child who was nonverbal, who was thriving at a school because you wanted your kids to go to that school. I get it though, because it is your children and you want them to have the best education that they can have. But maybe, Super Karen, if you did all the work to identify the people who had the power to make that decision, you should have had enough information to know the kids, at least. The kids, maybe know a little the family, maybe just go on Instagram or something and look to see the family before you do something like that. But if she didn't, it's probably because she knew she was being heartless and she did not want to personalize the people that she was displacing, something that Karens would do. But let's look at the comment. Teacher here, aside from the fact you pay taxes in that district, the other family needs to ensure that information is correct for emergencies and ensure districts are given proper funding. You didn't try to hurt anyone. Their argument could be turned against them too. Okay, yes it can. Okay, these are older people, I think. Okay, I did not know. I mean, I knew about the taxes, but I did not think about it. Your tax goes to your district. That other family moved, they no longer pay taxes in that district. It should be cutthroat world out there. The other family should have realized that and known it would catch up to them eventually. Yeah, I guess it would catch up eventually, but this mom, I don't think, she probably heard about this family moving through other parents and stuff like that, but it just seems wrong to me that it's not someone at the school noticing and it's a parent reporting a family. But that's just me. Even aside from their payment issue, which is true, the issue for me is that the parents are responsible for their own kids' best interest. If your kids are following the district enrollment location rules and the other family isn't, you don't owe that family a better education while your kids are worse off. No one is an asshole for giving their kids the best shot at life within the established rules. Okay, rules are rules. We get it. Rules are rules. Possibly an unpopular take, but The fact that U.S. school systems is based on zip code is a huge problem. We fund education primarily through property taxes, so the more expensive areas have better schools. People who can't afford housing in those areas are essentially condemned to a subpar education. So basically, the US public school system is the biggest asshole here. The other family in the situation sucks because they were breaking the law. Even if it's a law that shouldn't exist, it does, and they needed to follow it. It's my understanding that many districts will accommodate kids and families with special circumstances. At the very least, before moving, the family should have talked to the district about legal ways to keep their children in their schools. If they need their kids to keep these schools, then they needed to move within the district or find a way to get transferred back into the district. You suck because you threw another family under the bus, and I get why you did it, but it's still an asshole thing to do. Okay, I agree with this person. Finally, I found a comment that I kind of agree with. The US public school system is the biggest asshole here. Okay, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this along with other commentary videos.